What is cyber warfare?
Cyber warfare is an ongoing warfare between, I think, most of the countries today as we speak. Suppose we are recording this podcast right now. Suddenly the electricity supply in this room starts, flickering. And after say 5-10 seconds, it just goes off. You wait for some time, you try to figure out it will come back, but it doesn't come back. You try to reach out to the generator operator that there is some electricity issue here. But your mobile signal is not there. You walk out of here thinking that let me have a cup of coffee. You reach to a coffee shop, but there is nothing, no payment systems working. You are stuck there. So that is the cyber warfare.
Hi guys, welcome to the session on Coffee with Prab, and today we have a special guest, Mr. Col Deepak Joshi. There's no need of introduction to this person because he's known for his community things, what he do in India. And when it comes to Colonel sir, when it comes to Deepak sir, he has a solid experience of 30 years, and he's in cyber since 2000, where he taking care of the role of critical infrastructures and other services in army. He also played a key roles in the Indian Army, like United Nations and various other organizations. He also contribute to the community leaderships like Delhi DPO clubs, and along with that, he also heading the Delhi chapter chair. With the hands-on experience on JRC and all that, he also know how to turn the framework into day-to-day practices. He is an MTech from IIT Delhi, and he has a numerous publication on AI-based language, which talk about the deepfake forensic, which is part of his PhD. Today, we're going to going to discuss about deep dive about the cyber warfare, how the cyber warfare works, how the cyber warfare impacts the country, and what is the strategies, what is the insight behind cyber warfare, and what are the future plan about the cyber warfares with the geopolitical. Thank you, sir. Thank you for coming for this particular show, and I'm sure your wisdom, your thoughts will going to give a lot of insights to the listeners who watching this podcast, who listening to this podcast on this channel.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So, sir, I want to start with the first question in this podcast is, what is cyber warfare? There's a lot of buzzword around what is cyber warfare. There's a lot of noise around this word, what is cyber warfare? So can you just help me out, what is cyber warfare in a simple term, so that even the non-technical audience can also able to understand?
Yes, Prab sir, you see, there is a very important saying in cybersecurity, and that is, there are organizations which have been attacked. This is the first category, and then the second category is the organizations which are attacked, but they don't, acknowledge it, or they are not aware of it.
Okay.
Similarly, when we speak of, say, cyber warfare is an ongoing warfare between, I think, most of the countries today as we speak. And we as a nation also may be subjected to it right now as we speak. And when we speak of how it affects a common individual or a common citizen of a country, suppose we are recording this podcast right now. Suddenly the electricity supply in this room starts, flickering. And after say 5-10 seconds, it just goes off. You wait for some time, you try to figure out it will come back, but it doesn't come back. You try to reach out to the generator operator that there is some electricity issue here. But your mobile signal is not there. You walk out of here thinking that let me have a cup of coffee. You reach to a coffee shop, but there is nothing, no payment systems working. You are stuck there. So that is the cyber warfare.
Okay.
That is a tip of cyber warfare, because it starts bringing down by your critical information infrastructure.
Okay.
That is the target of cyber warfare. And when we speak how the adversary nations bring each other onto their knees, that is by bringing down their telecom, by bringing down their banking and financial services, by bringing down their power, medical, defense, government apparatus, and so on. Today, if we speak, suppose the airport operations come down, they don't function, the flights stop, taking off, getting down because of the GPS spoofing in the Indian airspace, then that is the, initial stages of cyber warfare. The websites don't work. And so on.
So if I take example, today if we talk about Gen Zs, or we talk about, not about Gen Z's parents also, we have a habit, like, we keep a smartphone next to our, let's say example, I'm going for a sleep and I want to keep a smartphone next to me. Okay. There is a possibility that in the future, they can target the citizens also.
Yes,
Like,
sir.
let's say example, nowadays if you see, India itself doesn't own anything in terms of technology usage what we have a dependency. Let's say example, we have a Google which is owned by the third party, Facebook owned by the third party, social medias, even the, we say smartphones are manufactured in India, but we need to also understand about chips and all that. So will it be a concern for a citizen of the country that there is a possibility the phone that you're charging right now while sleeping and all that, next day morning you have no idea whether your life is exist or not?
Correct, sir. Actually, that's correct, sir, because that is what is we are focusing for self-reliance on technology, be it operating systems, be it the hardware, be it the overall other proprietary tools, application softwares. You said Google, Facebook, WhatsApp, all of them are, foreign owned, and they claim that it is end-to-end encrypted. But yes, there are sometimes allegations that all these things have backdoors, which are somehow, if we speak of, say, all these apps which are coming from across, there is always some kind of suspicion that there may be a backdoor into them to spy on not only common citizens but on high ranking officials, be it in government, be it in private sector, and so on. And similarly, it is about the hardware which is there in all these telecom sector companies. We have hardware from all kind of nations. We are not sure whether that thing will work in the hour of crisis. We are reliant, as you are aware, for the GPS signals also we were reliant on some kind of foreign countries, and sometimes it happens and has happened in past that the foreign powers have either just moved those some latitude longitudes few kilometers here and there, and that has led to disruption of military operations. So yes, unless we become self-reliant in technology, it is always a possibility that the softwares, be it operating system or be it a small little app or any service which is running in your machine, along with the hardware which is there in that particular machine, may get you into a situation that can't be ruled out.
And when we're talking about the different type of warfare, uh, we have a space, we have a land, we have a, I think, ships and all that. Why this is called as a fifth domain of a warfare?
Yes, it has recently been termed as fifth domain of warfare, and rightly so, because when we speak of the other four domains, that is land, sea, air, and space, we have clear-cut defined boundaries there. Say for land, if you see, you have a map, you can pinpoint that this is our border, this is our LC, this is our LAC, this is our IB. Similarly, in international waters also, you have some kind of demarcation that after so many nautical miles of a country's landmass, the borders for the maritime will end, or they will cease to exist for a particular nation. And similarly for airspace, space also has their own allocations, that which satellite would be there and how they would be launched internationally, that is coordinated. But when we speak of cyber warfare, there is no fixed boundary as such. You can be anywhere, you can be attacking anybody, you can be a small group of people, students, you may be a state sponsored advanced persistent threat actor, but there is just no boundary. You can use that same optical cable on which the various medical reports of patients is traveling to actually transport your own malicious traffics which are going to disrupt power grid of a country, or maybe collapsing the banking systems of a nation, and so on. So it's a very, very dicey situation, and with no clear cut boundaries, nothing there, you don't know how to put somebody into prosecution, you can't attribute it properly. There is so much of bouncing between the servers which take place that you are never sure from where the attack has come, and by the time you get to know, the attack is either over or it is in a situation where you can't actually do much about it. So it's a very, very, I'll say, difficult domain to control, and very, very difficult to actually have some kind of vision also into that as to which attack will come and whether it is already there in our country or in our organization right now, and we are already in complete grip of that. I'll say that cyber warfare or cyber exploits are like time bombs in a nation or in an organization, which can be quietly lying down there and then made just boom on a particular day on a particular trigger. That's how it is.
And like, I want to ask before I move to the what is the process of cyber warfare. It was just the question which out of my curiosity is, in India nowadays, recently we have seen a lot of kids, lot of people are moving to the dating sites.
Correct.
Okay, Now, please understand the question carefully because I really want to understand the seriousness. So here, what happened? One of the case study happened. Now, countries are targeting the citizen of a respective country. They're trying to build a relation with those people, and they actually target the emotional aspect of the person. And once they basically know they have controlled that person, in emotion people share their pictures, they share their dirty chats, and there is a lot of case thing happens in the chat platforms. And now what happened later we got to know these are the APT groups who targeting those things, and by that they want to compromise those people, and they want to use them against the same country. So do you think that okay, the kind of a application is coming right now in a country, do you see the future possible threat will be origin from this source also, where they can target a citizen of the country, okay, will be the enemy for the government or for the country?
Yes, sir, absolutely. It can't be negated. As we speak, it is happening. We have something, known as honey traps,
Exactly.
akin to honey pots in the cyber domain. We have honey traps. Primarily on a lighter side, you would see that only the males get compromised in this. But who knows, in future, the females may also get into this. But the thing is that, yes, not only the dating sites, but small little, messages coming to you on WhatsApp with a request that download this particular APK file or download this, that would eventually lead firstly to compromise of your phone. It may so happen that all the people who are in your contacts, they would also receive that kind of a message, maybe an exploit which is a single click or zero click or maybe double click, and then they also get into that trap. And it is akin to that, I'll say something akin to the way Russia had compromised Ukraine. It may happen that the entire set of people in your chain may get infected. You are culprit in that. You have been contacted, you have willingly downloaded that file, but imagine about those other people. They are innocent, they are just there in your contact list, and they also end up getting something on email from you or some kind of WhatsApp message, some SMS, and then they inadvertently end up getting into that trap. So that can't be ruled out, because that is happening right now, and that will become much more sophisticated in years to come, and would become more and more lethal. People won't come to know, and that would actually have a very serious implication for how we operate and how the things will actually flare up.
And exactly that, the point that you talk about is building that defense around this weak area, because we say in information security the weakest link is people, and there is no patch for human stupidity, because people do mistakes when they are emotionally get attached to that. So continuing with this question, I want to understand how are two countries prepare for cyber warfare. I don't want to take the reference or reason what happens. I just want to understand from your perspective that how the cyber warfare happens. What is the process?
So cyber warfare happens primarily, you can have it in various modes. You can have a standalone cyber warfare, or you can integrate that particular cyber warfare with actual ground and military operations at a later stage. So when we speak of cyber warfare, we firstly start, say, suppose what has happened in other countries also globally. It starts with reconnaissance of the adversary nations. You understand how they are organized, how their digital systems operate. For example, for ease of understanding, I'll take the Russia-Ukraine example here, because that is the most relevant example and the most lively example, which is still going on. Since 2010, 2012, that kind of cyber warfare is on, and it is on right now also as we speak. So when we speak of Russia, Ukraine, the first thing is that they were two same countries. Russians had some knowledge about how Ukraine digital ecosystem is organized. They carefully, did whatever reconnaissance was required to be done. They selected a particular target as to how that particular target can be used to spread something. Now we understand that most of the digital ecosystem and big organizations, big government agencies are well organized. So what you can do is either you can target a particular organization within government, or you can identify a vendor or a supply chain vulnerability which is there. For example, again going to this Russia-Ukraine case, they identified something known as MEDoc, which was an accounting software which has presence in all the Ukrainian organizations which fill tax. So from there, they quietly compromise their servers, and from those servers, on one fine particular day when it was an important day and a vacation and a holiday in Ukraine, they pushed a particular update. Now this update, I'll say that this is the launch of exploit. So the first thing is reconnaissance, wherein you have mapped the entire country as to what all way the digital ecosystem is organized there, which all vulnerabilities are there. And the second stage is you plan for that, you have identified this particular target, and then you push your exploit, in this case via MEDOC. And from there you have done lateral movement within the entire Ukrainian government setup and all other organizations which are there. So from there it starts spreading, and then in this particular case they did not actually combine this with military operations, but there are instances in history wherein there is an integrated approach to cyber warfare and it is followed by military warfare at the same time. That cyber warfare is already crippling the country, and then there are land borders which are getting breached, there are airspace violations, there is naval ships which are firing on your naval ships, and so on. So first is reconnaissance, second is identifying a particular target through whom you will launch exploit, then launch exploit, then the exploits get activated, and then it does the lateral movement and brings down the entire nation on its knees. This is how it primarily spreads. And the last stage is you integrate it with your military operations also, so that it is a multi-blow shock to the adversary nation.
Okay, and what is the history of the cyber warfare? Like, how it evolved in last 20 years? Because initially what happened, we used to have a war between two countries on the land, right? Now, there is no interaction of land. It is more about targeting a critical infrastructure. So if you take example now, if I want to disrupt India, so from the point of view from India is, I know India is the biggest financial market, which is Mumbai.
Correct, sir.
So if someone want to target, so they will basically target the financial market. Then we have critical infrastructures like metros and all that. So, and they know, because in cyber, what I understood is that even the hackers basically target those assets which has a big network, whether network of people, network of process, network of technology. So I know if recently, I don't know whether you notice is a lot of YouTubers accounts got hacked.
Correct.
Okay, and they uploaded this currency, what is called Bitcoin currency, advertisements and all that. So they know if they hack one of the YouTube channel, through that they can able to publish lot of advertisement to the mass. So my question is that how do you see the evaluation of the cyber warfare in last 20 years? Like how it actually evolved?
Sir, be it cyber warfare or any other thing which comes into humanity, it initially starts with a good, I'll say intent. So internet as such was meant for easing human life, and today also it is aimed for that only. But unfortunately, when certain things fall into hands of wrong people, they end up exploiting it for reasons which are not, in the overall interest of society. So coming back to cyber warfare, maybe in early 1990s it started in the form of small kids trying out something as to where all I can reach. We have the story of Creeper, we have the story of Morris Swarm, which crippled down the entire internet. So that was the first stage. Then the second stage is that people got to know that it is better to rob a bank online rather than entering into a bank and risking their life. So they ended up designing certain malwares, certain ransomwares for their financial gains, and then they could exploit and extract same kind of money which otherwise they would have got by barging into a bank, police chasing them and so on. So they stealthily did this. So this was the second thing. So this is somewhere maybe in late 1990s that this kind of activity started, that you started doing DDoS, DOS, some kind of ransomware, some kind of crippling of networks, and you extracted money. So that was for financial gain. So this was the second stage. Then the third stage was espionage, wherein adversary nations started using various exploits, tools, malwares to extract intelligence. So be it the Ghostnet, wherein we believe there is allegations that China had planted various things into various countries, and it was India also that the Dalai Lama's headquarters in Dharamshala and so on, they were compromised, certain embassies were compromised, and large number of nations were compromised. And there are many other exploits which are well documented on various websites across the internet. There are books written on that as to how espionage and military intelligence was the third stage of cyber warfare. And today we are in an era wherein cyber warfare is being used by countries to actually decimate other countries' economies, their public infrastructure, their health system, their schooling, and so on. So there is these four stages primarily. One was just for amusement and curiosity that kids started doing certain things. Then it came an era wherein it was primarily for some kind of financial gains, then espionage, and then we are in full-fledged warfare.
I want to ask you here about in cyber warfare, there is a rise of APTs are there, advanced persistent threat. Those who don't know about APTs are the group of hackers who has a persistent access to your infrastructures. I'm sure you have seen a lot of politicians said that, their WhatsApp got hacked, their messengers got hacked and all that. So APTs are those who basically spend a lot of times. It is country sponsors and they target the politicians, finance systems and all that. So sir, I have a question here. In cyber warfare, the new modern cyber warfare is that army, the defense or someone is not coming as a first layer. They have a proxies, and for them APT is a proxy, right? So how do you see that perspective about the APT's roles now in cyber warfare?
Sir, APT and hacktivists, as we call them, APT is a different thing, hacktivist is a different thing, but more or less sometimes APT is for sure government funded, state funded. Hacktivists also sometimes, they work under the umbrella of being hacktivists, but they are also somehow affiliated to either APTs or maybe at times directly to the government.
Okay.
And both have some reason.
Okay.
One is already government employed. You can consider them to be like any other government normal employee, maybe working in shifts or maybe as a 9 to 5 job, going to an office, given a list of targets, and for which they have timelines also as to, by this time you have to penetrate or intrude into this network. By this time you have to literally move till this particular server or till this particular router or till this particular, segment of the network and so on. So APTs and hacktivists, all of them are working towards a particular political agenda, political ideology, and they have a common enemy.
And those who are not aware about the hacktivists are those group of hackers who hack for a particular cause. They don't hack for a girlfriend account to be compromised or a boyfriend Facebook account to be compromised. They basically hack for a particular cause. They have a cause of social, they have a cause of economic, they have a cause of political and all that. So let's take example, I represent one party and I hire a hacker. The hacker basically work for me and his vision is clear, target the social media accounts and all that, and through which they want to publish their political message. Like, I want to protect this, I want to protect that. So that is called as a hacktivist, and that's why the sir is talking about more from that perspective. So sir, when we say about the hacktivist perspective and all that, hacktivist is part of the APT groups nowadays. So how do you see the role of APTs are evolved in last 10 years or 15 years?
Sir, hacktivists in last 10 to 15 years are much more powerful, much more funded, much more well organized. You go to dark web, deep web, there is a particular market wherein you can buy zero-day exploits. So it's a proper market wherein you can go, you can put some kind of value for a particular exploit and you are given that. So these APTs, because the kind of exploits what they use, they are not in the reach of a normal citizen or a normal person. As you have said that if I want to spy on my girlfriend or my wife, I won't be able to afford that because they are into millions of dollars. If you want to hack or hack a particular iPhone, you want to hack an Android phone, you want to hack a particular system, you want to hack into a
and nowadays we don't need a password. Let's say example, if I'm using my social media, Facebook, and someone say, can I hack your Facebook? You don't need to hack, because your passwords are in darknet. I'm sure if you have an account on Facebook, if you have an account on social media, then your passwords are there. We don't need to put efforts here to break it. You pay the money, you get the password, because we are so lethargic in terms of technology integration. Today, if I want to log into any travel website, it gives me option of login with Google. So we do login with Google, or we log in with this and all that. So passwords are there. So as I said, in this case, how do you see the perspective of APTs? Are they targeting the the people, and through that they're basically building this defense, or what exactly it is?
Sir, it can be a dual approach. If it is an important person which is part of an air gap network, say for example Stuxnet. Now Stuxnet had inroads into the nuclear.
Yeah, can you just share more story about the Stuxnet? It's very interesting.
So, Stuxnet was a particular espionage program wherein it is believed that the United States of America and Israel had together brought out this particular thing known as Stuxnet, which had infected almost 54% computers in Iran at that point in time, which it has finally, tweaked the centrifugal speeds of the nuclear reactors in Iran. So that how it started it, that particular worm, it used to look for a particular telltale signs of a Siemens machine. And that particular machine was being used in those particular nuclear reactors. So it is believed that it was a multi-billion funded project wherein multiple, devices were done, I'll say distributed, and somehow it reached Iran, although Iran was the primary target, and the worm or the malware used to remain dormant till such time it was not able to find that particular Siemens machine integrated to that machine. So this, we can safely assume that people in Iran also would have kept that network air gap, which was having nuclear reactors. So that was one part of it. The people would have got frisked also before entering that facility. So coming back to the question as to whether they will target a common person, yes, they will target a common person also in case they feel that this common person has access to sensitive things. Like for example, this particular thing that this individual was having access to nuclear reactors. So somehow they reach to that person. So that is how persons can get compromised or they can be targeted. But I don't think so in a population of more than 100 million and such kind of populations you can target everybody, because you need to have that kind of storage, that kind of processing also to monitor and put these number of people into surveillance. So yes, specific targeting can be done for important personalities, leaders, business organization heads and so on. But otherwise they would target the infrastructure properly. When we take out various procurement proposals, even for certain sensitive organizations, at times by mistake, I'm sure, you get to know what all things are forming part of the core network, what kind of servers, what kind of switches. Now suppose tomorrow if I put a particular server in my particular sensitive ecosystem and 3 days later Microsoft releases a patch. I understand that the other organization or my organization has a policy of 30 days to patch the network, but the APT actors, they will tap this opportunity, and this has happened many times in past, that Microsoft has released a particular patch for a server or for endpoint machines. Unfortunately, the end users, as per their own procedures, that this is a normal critical update or this is a medium level of update, so let's do it after some days. And in the meantime, the hackers also get aware because of Microsoft releasing it on say every Tuesday. On Wednesday, they attack those kind of systems. So the APT actors can use both approaches. If it's an important person, they would go for that person. If there is very less likelihood to get these kind of people, they would straight away enter into that particular infrastructure, identify its inventory, asset inventory, and then straight away target those assets rather than waiting for the person.
So sir, it's a next interesting question I want to ask you around, how do smaller actors impose national level cost, and what does the persistence presence look like in practice without secrets? The reason of asking this question is, let's say example, we have our camera team here, and the camera team is part of a government sector. He basically record one of the minister's videos regularly. We have a podcast coordinator. She basically do the recordings of a lot of ministers and all that. For me, I know I cannot target minister, but I can target them. So how these small actors impose the national level cost according to you? And if it will be great if you can share any live example of the reference point. I'm just say we have a movie like Ek the Tiger.
Correct, sir.
Where the Salman ji having a affair or a relation with the cat. So we see this kind of a small honey traps and all that. So how do you see the small actors impose a national level cost, and what is the further persistence presence look like in practice without secrets?
So sir, here I'll say that there are two things. One is a small person causing a particular organization a very very grave damage, what you have asked. So for that we can take example of how solar winds, because all the big organizations, they have multiple layers of defense. You can't actually reach to them directly. So as you have rightly brought out, we have situations wherein people have taken up third parties as the victims first, and then they
Can you
have
just explain about the third party?
Yes, yes. So primarily, suppose for example, if it is say Microsoft, or if it is a very big organization in USA. Now, as you in the previous question said that USA has a particular dominance. It is the, I'll say, strongest country in terms of cyber if we speak today. So the organizations there, they can't be breached so easily. So what you will do is you will target somebody who's supplying them something, some kind of CD drive, some kind of pen drive, some kind of software update patches, and so on. So for example, if we take say Russia-Ukraine example again, the famous attack of not PETA.
Not pretty. Yeah.
Yeah, so not PETA, in that what had happened is that this particular thing, they could realize that they can't actually bring down the entire organization down. So this particular accounting firm software, which was being used in all the offices, that was exploited. So that was primarily what I have read about it. That was not a very big organization which was supplying all these software, accounting software. That was a small and medium enterprise kind of a thing in Indian parlance, which was having a very small office, and but it was having connections to all the big organizations. Through that particular accounting firm, they ended up reaching all the big organizations. Similarly, if we speak of how the
pager attack, live example. Pager attack is a live example.
Pager attack is a live example wherein in a systematic way it was informed that using mobile is not safe. So the entire top leadership migrated to pagers, and those pagers, they were right from the manufacturing stage itself, the person who's manufacturing them was identified how a particular thing would be processed in a manner that it reaches the top leadership, and the time and date on which it would be blasted, that was very very carefully chosen. So one part is that in which a person who's very small blows a person who's out of his size and out of his own caliber. Similarly, in terms of nations also, you have live examples like North Korea. Now, North Korea, we all understand that it's not something in which can be kept in the segment of developed countries or something, or a country which is having very very strong cyber things. So, in terms of GDP, you will be surprised. North Korea is having 1/10 of the GDP of Bangalore urban. Bangalore earns 10 times more than what the entire North Korea earns or their GDP is. But the thing is that North Korea has been very very nasty in this field. They have been attributed to various very very messy attacks in recent past, and Sony hack and so on. So when we speak of this is a live thing that a small person can be targeted, or a small organization can be targeted to bring down a very big organization. A small actor or a small nation can bring down very big countries out of their size. So that is happening.
Okay, so as you said, small things creating a big impact and all that. So now let's take an example about there's a new word which is creating a lot of buzz. What is cyber fencing? Now let's take an example. There's an attack. It's actually the attack happening between the two countries. Okay, country A and country B. Now we have a military on the ground who are doing the counter attacks and all that. Now we know from a physical point of view, there is a ship is coming. There's a people are coming from this border. People are coming from that border. We are targeting them because they are our enemies. They are respected soldiers, but they're just targeting them as enemies. We know there's a physical location. There's a physical location. If you talk about the Air Force, or we're talking about the planes and all that, they know, okay, the plane is coming from there, we can target that. But when it comes to cyber attacks, okay, where the countries have a huge populations and all that, so how in that case we can able to create a fence? So we know, like in the physical case, we have a borderline. This is the border. After this, if someone try to enter, we can kill him, or we can counter them. Or there is a Airbus control system we have where if the plane is coming under the radar, we can counter them. We know that. In the case of ship, we have a maritimes and all that. We have a border. We know if the ship is basically cross the things, we can able to counter that. But in the case of cyber, okay, the country where we are using a third party technology, the country where we have rely on third party. So how do you see in that case how to create cyber fencing, and what is cyber fencing according to you?
So cyber fencing sometimes gets confused with geo fencing also.
Yeah.
So cyber fencing and geo fencing both are to be used together, in terms to prevent cyber attacks on any country's critical information infrastructure, if we speak. So here, in terms of cyber fencing, what we need to do is we need to first identify. Although it's a very very difficult thing to identify, but whatever best we can identify, we need to identify the kind of traffic which is coming. Here the challenge is, for example, suppose if I tell you of say our country only, you are in a situation, you are having active war with say any of the adversaries. Now you can't just block the entire traffic coming to country, because you have remittances coming from NRIs to your country, you have various kind of other things coming back to your country from your own citizens abroad, the Indian diaspora and so on. So identifying is a very very gray zone in cyber domain. Then if you are able to identify, and maybe the thing is there in your network, then you need to segment it, that it should not be able to move laterally much. And then lastly, you need to take some kind of preventive action so that that kind of thing doesn't happen again. So primarily this is what we can bring down under the umbrella of cyber fencing. And when coming to geo fencing, it is primarily that the traffic which is coming from outside, or a particular IP address, or a particular country, or a particular region, that can be blocked, or that can be scrutinized to a much greater extent when compared to other traffic coming. But here the thing is, again, you have to be very very sure, because again, as I said, that your parents' medical test reports may also be coming on the same internet pipeline on which these malicious malwares are coming. So you have to be very very careful that malware can get embedded in a medical report of any particular disease of any particular person which is coming legitimately, and it has been very carefully and very, I'll say, in a very sophisticated manner hidden into that, and then it ends up in your machine, causing disruption to your machine and the entire network. And that is how it is.
So can you just give an example, like if any war happen, how this basically work, the cyber fencing?
So cyber fencing is primarily that you need to scrutinize the traffic which is coming from outside. Nothing much you can do, because sometimes it happens that in your own country also this kind of spurious traffic gets
generated. And how we identify?
You can't identify it much, because you can only identify it in terms of the modern day AI behavioral patterns which is there, because there are instances in historical things which are recorded that the way we have terrorist sleeper cells activated in various countries on need basis, similarly there are compromised machines in your own country, in your own networks, which get activated when the adversary decides to do so. So it is not actually very easy to identify that kind of traffic. There are DDoS which is launched from your own country sometimes. So you can't actually every time look outside your country that anything which is going to happen to me, that will come from outside. It's not like that. It happens within your country also at times, that a particular IP starts misbehaving, or a particular city, the machines which are part of a botnet, they start attacking you as part of their C2C directions, the command and control center for them, that gives them direction that now you start attacking your own country network and so on.
Okay.
So that's very difficult.
Any challenge that we face when it comes to cyber fencing, you think so?
Yeah, the challenge is that only, because here again the traffic is mixed in a common stream. It's not that this particular traffic which is coming on this particular cable is the malicious traffic, and this particular traffic which is coming on this is clean. At best you can identify, say, from IPs, the IP reputation, the country's reputation, or the kind of region which is there, but there are ways and means to spoof the IP, as we are aware. So it is difficult at times. Yes, at very sophisticated level and very high level you can identify, but you can't do it for every packet which is coming to you. You can do it for some level of traffic, but you can't be doing it for the entire traffic which is entering your country.
And with the continuation of this question, what you see right now in cyber fencing in real life, like for power, finance and hospital, because when you're talking about the critical infrastructure for any country is these three: power, because it basically providing the necessity things for the people life, and then we have finance, without that the country will not run, and hospitals are basically for safety. Now we say when it comes to attacks which has happened in two countries and all that, how we prioritize these, Do I need to protect the finance, or do I need to protect the power, or do I need to protect the healthcare? So how any countries, the military or army or whatever, so how they basically prioritize, because for them all three are critical. So how do you see that angle, and what is your viewpoint on that?
Sir, in this, as we have studied in various ISO standards also, and otherwise, human
BCMS.
life is the most important thing. So
Yeah.
first, if you ask, irrespective of the situation, any country sensitive to its population would firstly, restore the hospitals rather than finance or anything else, because a small announcement on television or any kind of media briefing by top leadership that we are undergoing this particular situation, we are trying to come out of it, and till such time just leave the finance part, I'm sure that the population will understand, and there will be no loss of life because of finance if this kind of a pre-briefing is done to the population, in case the entire three things have gone down together. Electricity is a luxury. Generations before us have lived without electricity also, so I don't think so that electricity would come second also. So first would be the hospitals, because there people are actually, I'll say, struggling for their lives. There are important surgeries which are pending. There are various procedures to be done. So hospitals would be priority number one, followed by, banking, and then maybe the power sector.
Actually, I did the podcast with Shiv, and we discussed about the OT security in that podcast. I'm sure you have seen that. And we have talked about how important is the critical infrastructure for an organization. Sir, I just want to validate this statement. Is it true that, there is a patient, there is a person, okay, let's take one hypothetical scenario. There is a person who go to hospital. And nowadays what happen, every inspection of your body is done by the computer. And one of the most important part is called as a MRI. Is it possible that if there is a issue between the two countries, and for them targeting such kind of a machines remotely will be the easy task if it's connected on the network?
Sir, definitely, because you see, like, we are patriotic and we love our country. We have feelings for our country. Maybe the organizations also of a particular nation have their affiliations at times, or sometimes they are bounded by government orders. So you can't negate it that, in case there is a situation like that it comes to a nation's reputation, or it's a full-blown war between two countries, then this possibility is definitely there and it can't be ruled out. But yes, I'm sure that the good sense would prevail and people won't come down to, situations wherein medical equipment is tampered in this manner, because there are multiple other things which can be tampered with. There are all kind of systems which other nations can tamper with. Medical equipment can also be tampered in this manner should it come to that stage and the top leadership of our adversary nation decides to do this with their adversary, but it can't be ruled out, but shouldn't be done.
That's why we say in cyber fencing, the most important part is identify, then segment, and then we recover. Because if it's not been segmented, you can't recover in one go. So it's a very good point you said about, it's all about the patriotic and how we see the strategies of adopting such kind of solutions and all that. And going back to the same question what I had, if you see we don't want to take a name of the company, but I'm sure you heard about, and I have made a video on that which I shared on LinkedIn. There is a one petro company in a country, and their operations got on halt because the vendor has discontinued the services, not because of payment but because of, I'm sure you know that. And the last year you have seen one of the biggest airline, okay, got interrupted because of one update, and people have to manually release the thing. So you can see the country where the 90% of the things we rely on the third party. How do you see that country in the vulnerable positions from a cyber warfare? And how important in that case make a concept of make in country, or if you have an example, make in India? What is your viewpoint on that? Is that country will be in the vulnerable position where the 90% things has been outsourced or rely on third party, or it's a good thing, like, we are using mature solutions, so that's a good thing? So what is your viewpoint on that?
Sir, it's a very difficult question actually, because it's a dilemma. In today's world, it's a globally connected world. No country can claim that, we are 100% self-reliant. Everybody is having some dependency or the other on somebody else. Like the mic on which we are speaking, it can also blast. You don't know. There are there are so many things that that can go wrong, because the thing is that it's a very, very interdependent world. Somebody is producing batteries, somebody is producing cable, somebody is producing coffee, somebody is producing software, so yes, you are right. As far as Make in India is concerned, we are a country which is very highly dependent on IT services. We contribute a lot on IT services, but as far as the hardware components are concerned, we have some kind of we are somewhat I'll say lagging in that. So yes, but small little steps have already been commenced on that, and we are on a way.
Semiconductor chips and all that.
From the Honorable Prime Minister's vision, we are already working towards Atmanirbhar Bharat, and maybe down the line we would be self-reliant in the entire product chain which is there for any particular thing, be it electronic devices, be it other sophisticated machinery, be it medical equipment and so on. But yes, being 100% reliant, self-reliant, that is a difficult situation, and that makes you vulnerable. There is no doubt on that. But yes, you can have at best strong contractual clauses. You can have various government-driven policies. You have regulator-driven policies wherein the regulators, which are because you represent a very big market. For example, if you say today, we have various kind of cloud networks. Now those cloud networks have servers from somebody, they have routers from somebody, they have networking cables coming from somebody. The space facility management is done by some other international organization, power is coming from somebody, and that is how it is. Even a data center which is getting constructed, that is also not 100% by a particular company. And even there are examples that in data center also 2 floors are with some big organization, 1 floor is with somebody in which there are hundreds of servers of various 25 different organizations and so on. So it is an interconnected world today wherein there are dependencies between people. So yes, if somebody twists our arm, say on something, we can also twist somebody's arm on something, but there are various contractual things in place which can prevent that. And but being self-reliant is the way, and we must move ahead on that.
Excellent. And the reason of asking this question is because there is a one question, there is a new thing coming as AI. As the AI and ML is coming, and the thing which required one day to trigger, it takes seconds to trigger. So how do you see the role of AI in cyber warfare?
You see, AI is already part of cyber warfare. Both in, I'll say that in cyber defense, it has already been part. When we talk of SOAR, so in SOAR, we have some kind of integration of AI in some manner at least. That the responses are triggered automatically. You don't need a L3 SOC analyst to analyze it and then keep passing instructions, and then those instructions get implemented. SOAR is doing it automatically within seconds. So as far as cyber defense is there, AI is already there. But yes, we recently had a case wherein a particular AI driven attack was prevented by Google, I think, wherein AI script was had initially identified certain 0 days and then was trying to exploit it. So that was the first thing which was getting recorded, wherein this particular AI led exploits were getting launched. So AI would definitely play a pivotal role, because the way the various skilled programmers keep looking for 0-day exploits in say Windows OS or somebody else, because there are lakhs of lines in a particular OS, and it is difficult for a particular team of developers to look for a particular 0-day in that. And when you, as you said, that you give it to an AI tool, it would be able to find it in a much faster time frame. And once it finds that particular 0-day, it would also identify the number of organizations which are using it, their particular score of security as to how they are organized, and in what kind of time frame they would be exploited. So AI would do end-to-end attack, and AI would be used to do end-to-end defense also. That is the way ahead. Maybe somewhere around 2030 and onwards, we are heading into an era like that.
Okay, that's really great. And one more important thing I want to ask here is bit off the topic. What is the role of now geopolitical with cyber warfare?
You see, geopolitical with cyber warfare has always been a part of the entire spectrum of the way operations have been happening. You have various nations with various kind of neighbors, and here, especially in cyber warfare, the thing is that it's geopolitics can influence, but the attacks can come from anywhere. So you need to have, I'll say, a balanced kind of approach, wherein you can balance out things diplomatically, because it can flare out and innocent citizens, they get trapped into this. So cyber warfare, when induced by geopolitical situations, would have a devastating effect on common masses, because it affects their day-to-day life. Say, for example, it would affect life of people which are outside the reach of conventional kinetic weapon systems.
Example?
For example, if suppose a missile is getting launched, in our case, if we say, we can assume that the range is say 1000 kilometers. So people staying down south, unless it is coming from a naval vessel, can be somewhat sure that it won't reach them. So that is the safety figure they carry in their mind, that maybe below a particular kilometer range they are safe. But with this kind of a cyber warfare coming up, the entire power grids going down, it can go down south also. The hospitals can stop working down south also, and so on. So it is a very, very fragile situation in today's geopolitical situation, that we need to guard not only our territorial borders, our maritime borders, our airspace. We also need to guard our cyberspace, because cyberspace will hit deep. It won't give you an opportunity to prepare. Maybe the things are already present at times. We are at times not aware that as I said, that we have well documented things that terrorists have their sleeper cells in very big cities and small cities for various kind of misadventures. Similarly, cyber warfare exploits can also be there in systems and across the nation, and that can cause havoc in the overall population of the country.
That's really great, sir, and thanks for sharing the amazing insight on the part of when it comes to the requirement of geopolitical with cyber warfare and all that. So, sir, my next question is, where do states find legitimate strategic opportunities? Like when you're talking about precisions effects, we talk about the intel economic pressures, and we talk about signaling. So, where do you find this as a strategic opportunities without crossing a legal or ethical lines? So how do you see that? Yeah.
Sir, actually, it's a very good question, because you see, as far as cyber warfare is concerned, there is what is ethical, it is yet not defined. There is no Geneva Convention or anything that how the cyber things would be progressed, when they would be halted, how, even if attributed, what would be the punitive action taken, because there have been cases wherein attributability has been fixed but nothing has been done. So all the four things which you have listed, the precision, the economic pressure, the signaling, and the fourth one also, they are all present there.
Okay.
Because when we talk of say precision in cyber warfare, you said that the way Hamas pager attack, or the way Israel in recent past has neutralized the Hamas rocket system, so that is a very good example of that. As far as economic pressure is there, the year in which the United States of America had imposed certain sanctions on Iran, the way their hacktivists or APT actors responded to various DDoS attacks on major US banks, that was an example that you put economic sanction on us, we would also disrupt your banking without in a situation that we can impose sanctions on you. Then intelligence gathering is a very rampant utilization, I would say, of cyber capabilities. There have been big nations which have been openly doing it. There have been instances wherein the United States of America has alleged that China is present in their ecosystem, Russia is present in their ecosystem. Similarly, Iran has claimed that Israeli things are there. Israel has claimed that Iranian things are there. That is primarily for intelligence gathering. And as far as signaling is concerned, yes, by doing something big or small at various regular intervals, you keep reminding your adversary that look, we are already there deep inside you, and we can bring down your entire thing the day we decided. So that keeps them under control. So all the four things are being utilized by various countries as per their capabilities, whatever capabilities they hold, to their advantage. That's how it is.
And when it comes to the role of the entire geopolitical in this case, how do you see the geopolitical role?
So geopolitical role is definitely there, because there are affiliations, there are own vested interests of all the nations. There are various forums of various countries, how they are arranged, how one particular nation enjoys proximity to another, how their capabilities can, automatically get inherited to this particular country, which can, get benefited from that. So that definitely plays a role, that using your geopolitical situation and your friendliness with a particular nation, you can actually use their capabilities to exploit your particular adversary, be it cyber or be it otherwise also.
Okay. And with continuation of this question, I want to ask is, what is the biggest challenge today? If you see the country, in terms of attributions, defense depth, we talk about the speed, we talk about the legal gray areas, we talk about the human factor. So what do you think? What is the paradigmatic fixes actually work now?
Sir, as you have said that there are situations, I'll say the first thing is that attributability. You are not sure, how to attribute it. Sometime at the earliest also, I'd say you would be able to attribute it in 72 hours. Then also what next? Because either you can, take down your hard drive, start doing forensics on that and start attributing it, and you leave your immediate response, that is containment or restoring your services. So quick fix in that, or a pragmatic fix, is that you restore your things first and then start looking for attributability, because you have to save your people, you have to bring them into a comfort zone rather than fixing attributability. Because even if you fix attributability in a very challenging situation, because there have been instances that a particular attack which has been I'll say found back or has been traced back, there are algorithms which are of X country, there are telltale signs of APT actors of Y country, the packets is coming from Z country, and the actual attack is from some other country. So in this kind of a complex situation, you don't know which of these four countries is the actual country behind attacking your country or causing disruption in your thing. So the first thing is that you stop attributing. You continue to attribute afterwards or simultaneously, but look after your population first. Second is, when we speak of gray zone, so it is gray because you don't know what to do.
Exactly.
Whether you launch a counter, that is illegal also at times, you can't be running behind that. So what do you do in that kind of a situation? It is a very, very difficult situation. Then we come down to various other things in this particular situation. You can't do much about it. The speed is so much with AI getting integrated that you can't respond to it so fast the way it is coming. So you have to have AI again guarding against that. So there are large number of challenges in that. So you have to be at your toes now these days to prevent any kind of cyber attack into your country.
That's really great point you have shared about. I really like about the thing which you said about critical infrastructures or healthcare and gray areas and all that. Do you have an example you can share about this area? It will be interesting insight, something like that.
Yes. So suppose if we speak of the famous, or maybe sometime it is attributed as the first kind of cyber warfare against a particular country. So it was in 2007 that it started in Estonia, that they wanted to shift a particular statue or a monument and some kind of other things to another location in city. So again, it is the famous Russian GRU or their APT actors which are claimed to be behind this particular attack. They brought down the entire Estonia to its knees. They crippled the entire government infrastructure, the entire things, be it fuel stations, be it electricity, be it various websites. The entire government machinery had stopped working. So that is how it is. And it continued for many days. And what they had done was that they had started information warfare along with it. So there was civil unrest also simultaneously. So it was already the country's infrastructure is grappling with this kind of attack. And on the other side, the population had started giving into civil unrest kind of a situation. There were clashes between the police forces and population, because the people were made to believe that their government is incapable of protecting the common people's comforts. So that is how it is. So it is a very, very difficult situation, and that is how the Estonia cyber warfare thing was recorded as the first thing. But the important thing, irrespective of the thing not being part of the question, which I want to highlight here, is that how you recover from that. So after that, Estonia has now done large number of things since 2007. They have started cyber education from their schools, colleges. They have collaborated with various threat intelligence organizations, intelligence sharing. They have made data embassies wherein the data, they assume that in case their entire country's infrastructure gets compromised, they have data embassies in Luxembourg and so on, that is known, and there may be other locations also which are not known or which are not given in media. So they safely store their data in other countries also. So that is what they have done, and we need to learn from them.
That's a very good insight that you talk about the Estonia issues. And with that, only the continuation of that, the last question I want to, second last question I want to ask you is, it's question from a narrative warfare, okay? So, there is a one concern right now is happening on deepfake. So, one safe example where the deepfakes nearly moved opinion, and you can give the 3 checks any citizen can use before sharing. Example like recently it happens, someone has used Reliance CEO video and collect the money from one investors. So, what is the message you want to share to the citizen of the country in terms of deepfake videos?
It's I'll just give you some context of deepfake. So deepfake comes out as a result of the Gaussian adversarial network, wherein a particular I'll say program or a AI algorithm continues to generate an image or a video or a voice till such time the other computer which has the original sample, it's fails to recognize it that it is fake. So that is the level of perfection in deepfake. Although we claim that we are able to spot deepfake or we can identify deepfake video, but I'll say that with time going, it will be very, very difficult. So coming back to example, we had this Russia-Ukraine war in 2022, again starting full-blown military aggression. In that, sometime immediately after the war, a deepfake video of Mr. Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, surfaced, wherein he was, requesting his armed forces to lay down arms and surrender. So that was a very, very, I'll say timed video which had come at a situation wherein the country was in chaos. The military operations had just started. Russia was, already trying to enter Ukraine from various corners. And this particular thing started trending on various, I'll say, social media platforms, on various Telegram channels. It was a breaking news. But yes, it was handled well by Ukrainian government that they immediately gave a counter video, and with all the support from West and US, these videos were immediately removed from Facebook, YouTube and other platforms. Had it been some other country, I'm not sure whether it would have got removed so fast. But that had caused little bit of chaos there in their country, that yes, the president is there on the television saying that you surrender yourself. So that is how it is. And as far as common citizens are concerned, there are things that you can do that firstly verify the source.
How?
Verify the source in terms of you can either call up that people, if it's a thing you can see it on a government ministry's website also, rather than just becoming the fastest finger first on social media that you get it and you feel that if I become the first person to forward it in a group, I will be clapped. So that is how the psychology is, that the moment we receive it, we want to forward it to 100 other people without checking the veracity or truthfulness behind that particular thing. We need to some kind of verification to be done with a deepfake video or photo. We can apply some kind of common sense also, because as I said that it is near perfect, but it is not yet perfect. With some kind of careful watching, you can make out that it is not the real person.
Okay.
So these are the things which a common person can keep in mind before falling victim and making other people also fall victim to these kind of deepfake videos. But the challenge lies that these kind of videos are now, as you said, that Reliance CEO's video has surfaced wherein he has asked investors, and investors, they have paid up also the money. There is, I'll not say just the video part of it, because in video you can still make out that, the color of the neck or color of the face is slightly mismatched, or blinking is not proper, or the lip sync is not proper. But there is, I'll say, deepfake voices also. In recent past in our country, only in cyber crimes, there have been people, who have copied the voice. They have generated the voice of somebody's son, somebody's daughter, and they have, put them in a situation that they have transferred crores of rupees in a particular account. There are apps on mobile, Play stores, etc., which you can use very easily to create voice clones. You can, just give your 10-second, 20-second voice sample, and then you can forget about it. It would start creating your voiceover. So that is how it is. So deepfake video is still okay. I am worried about the deepfake voice part of it, because sometimes that also can create havoc.
And as people are using not ChatGPT or some AI platforms, now they're giving you option as, record your audio
Correct.
instead of just typing. So it means when they record your video, or so when you record your audio and upload in these AI platforms, they're using those voice. And no doubt, if tomorrow, if any of the servers got hacked and all that, they have the samples of your audios. Correct me if I'm wrong. And that can be a biggest threat for the country.
Correct, sir. That is there because the way the data is getting stored, it is a very, very big privacy concern, because the privacy agreements are so long that you
No one have time
finally
to
end up, just ticking all the boxes rather than reading, because it's not possible to read. And even if you read, you can't make any head or tail out of it. So you just end up ticking all the boxes, and you are in a hurry also to, start using it, because everybody else in your neighborhood is using it. So you take the example of that Ghibli. So all the people started becoming Ghibli, and the OpenAI CEO had to say that he never expected that kind of
Response.
load coming to their server, that kind of.
Ghibli
but
art,
your
yeah.
pictures there which are gone, they are, I think, gone forever.
Yeah.
Because in AI or in these kind of things, in Gen AI, you can't be sure whether the data would get deleted, because the data is having touch point at so many locations.
You can't delete from all
So
the
it's very
simple
difficult.
is, if the data move out of your cloud, if data move to the cloud, it is not safe. It is not
Correct,
secure.
sir. Correct,
That's a simple philosophy we have.
Correct, sir.
And the last question I want to ask you here is, if you're looking for the 3 to 5 years ahead, which convergence, like cloud orchestration, satellites, AI agent, quantum safe crypto, change the doctrines the most? According to you, if you're talking about for next 2, 3, 5 years, what do you think? What is the most advanced convergence we can see? Which can change the doctrines the most, and why?
Sir, actually, all the 4 or 5 which you have said, they are equally important, because first you said about cloud. Already, as we discussed earlier also, large number of organizations are hosting their data on cloud. That would slowly increase. So the present day philosophy that, multiple organizations to be guarded, all need to have defense in depth, that would slowly change to a situation wherein maybe AWS, Azure, and Google would hold 80 to 90% of the global data. So
True.
rather than multiple organizations saving or protecting their data, these cloud service providers would need to guard themselves, because once any one of them is compromised, 25 to 30% of the population's data would be gone. Second is satellite. The satellite thing is already, we know that Starlink has almost more than 8,000 satellites today up in the LEO, and that is going to increase. Already there are so many satellites, and certain nations have the capabilities of bringing down adversaries' satellites, or hacking the satellites itself. So we need to have not only a cyber command, we need to have a cyber plus space kind of a situation, wherein all of them can come together. Then the third thing is very, very scary also, that is the quantum thing, because everybody is assuming, and the way encryption works, it is assumed that encryption can be broken, but we take it in terms of time, the mathematical complexity. It would take some amount of time, but the worrisome situation is that if by say 2027, or maybe today also, certain countries have the capability of breaking down your RSA or AES 256, they are reading your messages. You may be,
and that's why we say a hack now, decrypt later. That's why they're following a policy where the hackers basically hack into the data and all that, encrypt the data. And
so if they have access to your data, suppose today we are very, very relaxed, assuming that the intercontinental internet which is traveling, that is AES2, or maybe some kind of encryption is working on that, which would take some years to be decrypted. But if suppose X country already has the capability, they are taking it to their data warehouses, data lakes, or other facilities wherein they have specifically designed machines which is decrypting this entire data, and we are living in that I'll say foolish world that our things are safe. Then the AI thing which you are saying, AI is also coming up in a very rapid manner. Some capabilities are demonstrated to the world by these nations, some are not demonstrated to this world as such in open markets. You see, we very commonly say that the internet, what we see is 4%, 5% only, and 96% is deep dark web. So similarly, I'm worried the way the capabilities are shared with other countries globally, whether that is the capability together, or we are only seeing a tip of the iceberg, and the other nation which has developed it, that has the complete capability. So with AI, which we are seeing, that is only so much sophisticated. So if there is some other version or a very very advanced version of AI which these countries are holding for themselves, that is a very very scary situation if that is used, and if it falls in wrong hands, how it would work out.
I agree.
That is what it is.
And that's why we say, if you want to use any technology, use wisely.
So it is by AI and now for AI, and we need to use AI for our defenses also.
That's great, sir. And thanks for sharing a great insight on the cyber warfare evaluations and all that. I'm sure the listeners will definitely get a lot of viewpoints about the modern cyber warfares and everything. And taking out the time for a very critical topic and giving back to society is a big thing, sir. And we really appreciate the way you
Thank
have.
you so much.
No, sir, you deserve that actually, because
really,
getting the knowledge from the person who already worked in the things, it's really commendable, and getting insights in the practical manner with the storytelling, it's really great thing. And I really like the way you have break the topics into small things, and the way you have explained the topic with the real examples, especially case studies, facts and figures, that gives a lot of insights here.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much. Those who are watching this particular podcast, do let us know in the comment section, shall we do another podcast with the Deepak sir for the new topics, and I'm sure we're looking forward for more topics from you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
So this is all from our side, team. Do let us know how do you find this podcast, and we're coming with more cyber series with warfares and geopoliticals on this channel. And if you're new to the channel, do subscribe to the channel and click on the bell icon to make sure you should not miss my future videos on a similar topic. Thank you so much. Good day.
Thank
Bye.
you so much.